Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Vlog. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Hero Arts, I've got this great collection of honeybee stamps and cutting dies. So this first one is called the Bee and Flowers Wreath. This little guy right here works as the wreath. This one is the Honeycomb Fancy Die, the Geometric Bee Pattern Bold Print Stamp, and then we've also got the Honey Pot dies. So let's get right to this, and I'm going to show you the first one I used together. These two, the Bee and Flowers Wreath and the Honey Pot dies, and this one was so fun to make. I used a center step die cut card from hot off the press. You can get them at Paper Wishes in packs of 5. They're already pre-folded, and so you just get the fun of decorating them. And the paper that I used on this one for the black polka dot, I used the Dotted Duos #1 paper pack, and for the red, of course, and for the black, I used the Dotted Duos #3. I forgot to grab that one. And then for the little red check, which is so cute, I used the Gingham #1 6x6 papers to get that tiny little check, which was really fun. So anyway, I went ahead and used the die from, this is some yellow cardstock that actually goes with the Dotted Duos, and then I cut out, there we go, that cute little top fabric piece from both red, the tiny dots, and is also from white. And as you can see here, I just took my little scissors, and I took my little white piece, and I just cut out the bow and the little white detail here. Just do a little trimming to cut that free from its background, just like that. And then I just glued it over the little red one. On one side, we've got the big bold dots like we do here, and the other side, we've got the little mini dots. So I used the mini dot side. Now, how did I get this yellow to be such a nice golden rich color? I used Tri-Blend markers from Spectrum Noir, and these are alcohol pens, and they're wonderful for blending. And I used the darkest shade, and I just did a little scribble around the bottom and the edges just like this, and then I went to the medium or the middle shade. There's 3 different colors here, and I just did a little blending like this. Just went into that darker shade just like that and just blended those in. And if you're not you're just not practiced at blending, this is a great project to practice that on, because it's going to get so much of the color, and here's the lighter one, from this yellow background right here. All right, so we're just taking that lighter color and just blending that in with that medium color. All right, then I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go to, this is Citrus Blend marker. It's a nice yellow, and it has 3 shades of yellow. And I'm going to go to the darker shade of yellow, and I'm just going to go right in here to that golden brown color. I'm just coloring that in. So pretty much this is how it looks right there before I add my little glossy 3D crystal lacquer. 3D crystal lacquer is what makes this little pot so shiny with its honey. And the little honey dipper, for that I just took some white cardstock, I cut it out of the white, or die cut it out of the white, and then I also die cut the dipper out of yellow. And then I just cut away that little excess till I had this little part right here, and I just glued that right there. And then you can go back and just use the Tri-Blend marker to color in a little handle, or you could even just use a little brown ink to color that as well. And so then I just took my little 3D crystal lacquer and I just added that right to the surface of my honey pot. put it on a nice little thick layer. This stuff is great to just draw with too. You can outline things with it. And this took a couple hours to dry. And it dries nice and clear. And that's how you get that nice thick honey look. All right. Now, oops, lost some stuff here. Okay, so now you'll see here we've got the little honey die. So cute. One thing I noticed about the honey die is that the Y looks like the H and the H looks like the Y. So you have to make sure it's the right direction. When I was gluing this down, I almost glued it upside down and it doesn't say anything. Make sure that you get that going the right direction. Got that going there. We've got our little flower and bees. So here we've got cute little daisies and these cute little honeybees. Grab these. Here we go. And for the little honeybees, they have these great little legs and antenna. And if that is tricky for you to cut out, then what I would do is I went ahead and I stamped right there, if we can zoom in on this, Steve. I went ahead and stamped the antenna part of my bee. I just inked that part of it. And I stamped that directly to the background, just the tip of the stamp. And then I went ahead and cut out my bees and went ahead and just glued those right over that image so I didn't have to cut out that really fine stuff right there. So that was a little trick. And then with my little flowers, I just added a little bit of the yellow around the centers. And then we have these great rainbow half pearls, okay? And I just added one of those little yellow ones right to the centers, right there. So cute. I just had fun with it. And then my little greeting, happy bee day, and just add that to a little piece of white cardstock and cut a notch in it. Just glued it right there. All right, so we have another card here. This one, Hello Sunshine. For this one, I used the honeycomb die right here and the stamp set. So let's talk about the background. So I took a piece of paper right here, cut it to the size that I wanted for my card. I should also mention this black dot is the same one that I used here, and that is from the Dotted Duos number 3 paper pack. And with that, I used a little bit of roasted coffee and canary yellow ink from Prism ink pads. And I just got out my blender brushes. These are such great tools to have, you guys. My favorite set is the one that has 4 of them. We have another set that has 3, and they're a little larger. And so you just take a little bit of that roasted coffee after you've sort of gone over this with the yellow, and you're just spotting it here and here with that roasted coffee color. Okay, and then you're going to take your die, just put it right on there. You're gonna put this through your die cutting machine. This will fit in any standard die cutting machine, 6-inch wide. I use a Big Shot at home. Okay, and then that will give you this great image where it's got some of these pieces are just embossed, and some of them you can just lift right up, which is so cool because then you can take little bits of foam tape. Okay, there's little squares of foam tape, and you can just put some right under the pieces, and you can see how it's lifted up and it has dimension there. That's a really fun technique to do. So let's see, what else can I tell you about this card? I went ahead and I stamped. We've got some greenery right here, and for those I used Evergreen and the Olive Green Prism ink pads, and then just used my little scissors to cut those out, and then just glued those right here on this little wreath shape, and then put one of those little flowers on it, and then you've got some bees all good to go here. All right, so on this last card, I'm going to show you how I used the geometric pattern bold print stamp. And for that one, I'm using a 5x5 card. Okay, and I went ahead and I just stamped some cardstock using this canary yellow. Okay, and then I just cut it slightly, probably into a 4 3/4 inch square, and then glued that to a 5x5 card that I had covered in black cardstock, if you can see that there. All right, then I needed some circle here, so I just die cut a circle with yellow from the 12 circle and scalloped cutting dies. And I went back to the die here, and I went ahead and first of all I went ahead and die cut that shape so that I could get this little pattern right here. And I just glued it flush with the card. I didn't use any foam tape to pop those up. Okay, and then I wanted to make a little window. Okay, so I've got here a little circle. Use the scallop shape right here. Cut that from black cardstock. And then I cut away the center window. I used a sheet of acetate and die cut that as well to fit inside, glued it to the back. And now I've got a single layer of foam tape. I like to use the long strips of foam tape, and this giant roll of foam tape. You can get this at Paper Wishes, and it is 150 yards or 50 feet, and it's under $20, and it is great. And it's just continuous lines. So if you're doing something like this where you don't want to use the little bitty squares and putting those all around that can be really tedious. So I like using this. And then I'm going to add another layer of foam tape to this. So I've cut my little strip. I like to take these and cut the strip of foam tape in half with my scissors. So till it's about a 1/2 inch wide. And then I just cut down the center of it. Okay, and then I've got another piece actually stuck to my shirt. There we go. And that piece is going to just get, that piece is a little large, so I'm going to cut this one down. There we go. I just cut that in half because I could see it was going to be far too big for my little window. Okay, so I'm just putting that right on top of the other layer that I'd already put down. All right, so I've got 2 layers there. And then I've got these great little bumblebee sprinklets, which are just adorable. I'm going to take those. I'm just going to take a little pinch of these, put them right here. I'm going to take my window. I'm going to get that right over that circle. Press down my foam tape. Make sure there's a good seal all the way around that so those little honeybee sprinklets don't fly everywhere. Got a lump of them caught in the center there. There we go. Come on, lump. There we go. All right, so now you've got your cute little shaker card going there. Right now we get to have more fun and decorate it. So here I've got some cobalt blue country blooms from 49 & Market. And I love the pop of blue with the yellow and the black. It's so cute. I'm going to take a couple of these small ones. And I've also got some sunshine yellow pixie petals, also from 49 & Market. And then I've got some little honeybees here that I've already colored. And for those, I like to use the citrus blend to color those. And then just a little bit of the ice blue and the ice gray blend on the wings, right there. All right, so what we're gonna do with these is just put a couple these down. Gotta get my glue here. I'm using this Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. Just gonna glue them right to the edge of my shaker. Like that. Another little blue one right here. Then you can just add a yellow. And now we've got our little bees. And for these, I like to add just a little bit of foam tape. Some of them are going to have a little bit of a lift to them. Just putting a little bit of foam tape on the back of each of those. This one we can just glue down. Don't all have to be foam taped on there. In fact, we can just put one right there. And then I've got a little bow that I made out of 2 different shades of green jute twine. I've got the bright green and the dark green. For these, I just like to just take on the knot. I just held 2 colors together and then just tied a bow. And I just like to like slip that right under my flowers. Like that. And I think up here we're going to put another one of those and another one of these small blue ones. Just add a little color towards the top. Right. So we could even take another one. We can put that right there, and that kind of fills out our card. I like to have this larger circle and then a smaller one right next to that. All right, so there you go. Fun and colorful and easy to put together. So you guys, we've got a great money saver on these collection here, these stamps and ties from Hero Arts. So if you're watching us, if you're watching us on our vlog page, then you just want to look over to the right hand side and you'll see the Money Saver bundle. There's a good price on all of these together. And below our video, there is also a gallery where you can click and see full color pictures and supply lists for each one of these cards. And if you look below the gallery, there's a drop down menu. You click on that and you'll see every supply that we've used here today, all the adhesives, the glue, the cutting dies, the scissors. They're all listed there in case you want to buy one particular item. So if you're watching us on YouTube, then look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link to paperwishes.com where you'll find everything I just told you about. And if you like this video, consider giving us a thumbs up. It helps people find us on YouTube. And consider subscribing because we do 3 to 5 videos a week. And if you're not subscribed, you might miss something. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.